Today we're going to look at turning your car, truck, van, or SUV into a stealth camper. Today we're looking at my Suburban here, and I am turning this thing into a stealth camper, and the only way you can make it stealth, of course, is to let no one see inside. And what we're going to be doing is covering these windows with a material you can buy at your local home hardware store for extremely cheap. And here is that material, and it is called Reflectix, and this stuff is awesome. Having a look very closely here, we can see this stuff is really just some bubble wrap, maybe like a dual layer bubble wrap with foil on both sides. You can see here there are a variety of uses for this stuff, but we are going to be using it specifically to turn our vehicle into a stealth camper. They make this in various sizes, but the roll I bought was 24 inches tall by 25 feet long. I measured this glass from top to bottom, and I'm sitting at about 21 inches or so that 24-inch height on that roll is going to be perfect. You can probably tell that this glass is tinted. So what's the problem? Why do I need this even more stealth? Well, just like we are here from the inside looking out and we can see the world just fine, the same exact effect happens at night when you're inside your rig and you have a light on. Essentially, people can see right in through your tint, no problem. Okay, so where do we start? How do we get this stuff cut accurately so that it fits nicely on the inside of this window, especially if our windows aren't square? And you can see mine isn't. The back section here is angled just a bit, as well as the front. So the outside of the glass is actually a little larger than the inside of the glass. And we also have a bezel around the inside of the glass, so we really don't need as much of a blackout as it looks like we need from the outside. So measuring the diagonal here on the inside, it looks like I'm getting about 57.5, and then about 48 inches there. So I think as long as I cut about 57.5 or 58 inches, I should be good to then start trimming it down. Okay, we've got our tape measure here measuring this out, and I do have my 58-inch mark here. So I'm just gonna cut this off here, and we'll have this giant 58-inch long piece to then start precisely cutting to the window. Okay, so as far as the height goes, we do have on the top and bottom this little channel here on the inside of the window. And so what I want to do is actually make the panel just a little bit taller than this glass so that it'll fit down into the channel on the bottom and up here in the top. Hopefully by doing that, it'll be enough to hold the panel in all by itself without having to resort to tape or Velcro or something along those lines. Here I have my drywall square, and that's so I can make a mark all the way down this piece as straight as possible. I've measured from this edge here all the way in, and I'm giving myself a little more than 21.5. That will hopefully account for any discrepancies in my line here and my cutting. Now that I have my line drawn, I'm gonna go ahead and just use a typical pair of scissors and cut down the line. Okay, I have my first cut for this height. I'm just stuffing this stuff down into the crevice. Just trying to get this to fit as good as possible and pressing it into the corners and the crevices. You can see my overhang here, and all I'm doing is just kind of shoving it down into the crevice. And that should be good enough to hold everything in once we have the ends cut to the actual dimensions of the window. Okay, the first rough cut and fitting of this panel is completed. You can see we have some excess here on this end and also here on the corners on this end. All I'm gonna do now is take my marker and just mark a line, pressing this as deep into the corner as I can, and mark that line and just cut it out. Okay, so I'm just shoving this in there as much as I can, and I'm just gonna make a mark. Something like that. Then with it pulled out just a bit, I'm just gonna cut kind of on the outside of that mark. Hopefully, we'll be cooking with fire here. That is great. And you can see how good of a fit that is and how easy that is to get that. All you have to do is start with the vertical measurement, put it in place, even if you have to tape it on the top and the bottom. Then you can come over here to the corners, jam them in there, make your mark, and cut them out. I'm cutting out the back side of the window. I've already shoved it in there and made my mark. All right, look at that, guys. And just like that, we have a custom-made stealth panel that fits exactly to this window. It is tight, it is held up on its own, and there is no slack whatsoever. So up in this corner here, I'm gonna leave this little tab. This will just give me enough to be able to grab on and pull this whole panel out when I want to. As I was saying, these windows are tinted, so here's what it looks like from the outside. Not bad at all. And here is the driver's side rear cargo window, and all I did was swapped this panel directly over there, just an even swap, just right over here, and you can see it for some reason doesn't quite fit perfect. There is some light leak there around the edges there, and we do have a rather kind of loose fit up here on this corner. So for some reason, and I've tried to move this around to get it to fit properly, for some reason this panel fits about 98% of the way there, but it's just not exactly the same. So I think what I'll do is use this panel as kind of like just my template as far as the general size, and I'll do the same thing independently for this window, just to make sure that the panel for this window gets cut precisely to this window. I don't know why they wouldn't be exactly the same, but for some reason it seems like they're not. This first panel that I made fits precisely to this passenger side cargo window, and I took my time to make sure that this one fit really, really well. I'm really glad I did that because now I can use this panel to take a lot of the work out of cutting the other side panel. I can simply place it on top and get a good general measurement for length and also overall cut. Then once I have that cut out, I'll just do the same thing that I did with the passenger side over here on the driver's side. And there you have it, guys, a complete custom rear 100% blackout panel, this time for the driver's side, and this thing fits perfect. Here is that passenger side, which also fits perfect, and here is that driver's side. Wow. And here is that driver's side from the outside, and you can see again, you can see the chrome finish coming through the tint, but it is not bad at all and actually looks kind of cool. Okay, at this point we have the driver's side rear cargo, the passenger side rear cargo, and I am going to do the two rear passenger windows up there. But my next step is this back hatch. This back window is a huge window, and with this thing covered, I will be almost completely stealth even with lights on the inside. And here is a perfect example of what I was talking about with the light from the inside being able to be seen very easily from the outside. If you'll notice, you can see right through this glass. Even though this glass is tinted decently dark, you can see right through it. You can see the outside there, you can see the front windshield, you can see the seats, and everything else. So this is a prime example of why tint isn't enough if you want to be stealth camping in your vehicle. So once I get this rear hatch glass done, that will be the final window in the trio of windows that I wanted to get done in this video. Okay, so if you want an easy way to just get a general length for your piece, just go ahead and lay it on the outside of the glass. This way you can see just how wide you need to be quickly. You'll have a little bit of extra that you'll need to cut off, but it'll definitely be a lot quicker to do. Okay, I have my mark here and I'm just gonna start cutting. If you get it right, these scissors will just slice right through it. Okay, so same thing on this back hatch glass. I'm just little by little pressing it into the corners and just marking it out. And this will give me a good line off of which to cut. But also something to note here, when I'm cutting along these marked lines, I'm actually cutting about a 1/2 inch lower or leaving about a 1/2 inch more material than the line I marked. This gives me enough material to be able to push down into the lip all the way around this window. That's cut, and now we can see with that extra material, I can just push it right back into place, and this thing basically holds itself in, which is awesome. The rear hatch glass is now done, and of course, it fits like a glove. I did have a particularly hard area because you can see I had to cut around these contours here, but using the method that I used by just shoving the edges all the way in and then marking them out and then cutting them, everything went smoothly and flawlessly. If you look up in the corners here, you'll see the material is shoved up underneath this trim, which is holding it in perfectly. This rear hatch glass doesn't sit vertically, it actually has a pitch to it, so the material would naturally want to fall away, but because we have it tucked up in all the way around the entire perimeter, it's holding itself in quite nicely. Well, let's see what we've accomplished so far. We have the entire cargo area windows completely covered all the way around. Now the entire cargo area is 100% stealth. Okay, there is one issue I potentially see, and that is with this rear hatch glass. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This rear hatch glass has those heating elements that defrost the glass. I can feel these heating elements with my fingers here, which tells me that they're just simply laid onto the inside of this glass. And while I don't know exactly how these things work, I do imagine that they could conduct electricity. And being that this material right here is metallic, I'm wondering if that could potentially be a problem. Looking inside the lip here, you can see the metal that is used to make these things work. So being that this material is metallic, and these heating elements on this glass are metallic and seem like they're open, like you could conduct electricity through them, I don't think that this material is the right answer for glass in situations like this. I think it could potentially be very dangerous. Who knows? It could simply just blow a fuse. It could start a fire. So my recommendation, if you have heating elements on your glass or anything on your glass that could potentially arc off of this metallic material, do not use it whatsoever. Find something else. Furthermore, this material may be completely unsafe in many other ways that I haven't even thought of yet. I do not plan on using this permanently. I'm only going to put it on the windows when I am actually camping and want some privacy. Therefore, it will not be on the windows when I drive, not obstructing my view in any way. And with that being said, I'll say do your own due diligence. Do not do what I'm doing. Make sure you research and find out what is right for your specific situation. Well, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Also subscribe and hit that bell icon for more like this. Hopefully I was able to give you at least some ideas as to ways to make your vehicle more stealth for camping. Like I said earlier, this product I used may not be the correct product for you, but hopefully it'll at least spark some thought into ways you can cover your windows so that no one can see in when you're inside with lights on. Anyways, guys, I'm Jimmy. The channel is One Road, and I will see you in the next one.